This is one of my stacks of firewood. I've got a bunch more up there you've seen before. As I've said before, this is kind of my savings account or my retirement plan. I've got 15 years of firewood. That's cash if you really think about it. I don't have to buy heat for 15 years. That puts me up to 65 years old. I'll have to get some more, I don't know, maybe 5 more cords. It's 3 truckloads per cord, so 15 truckloads over the next 15 years. I'm gonna have to have this because the government is seizing our bank account. It's kind of frightening too. I've mentioned this before. We're not going to be able to have cash. I think they're actually going to start doing it this year. It may not be everybody. I think they're experimenting it with certain groups or banks or whatever, but they're going to eliminate paper cash. A lot of people tell me that they have cash, you know, tucked away out of the bank accounts because they don't trust the banks. The banks are volatile. Things can happen. I get it. And then others tell me they put their faith in gold. The problem is we know that the government is going to get rid of cash. We know it. We have no choice about the situation. It's just going to go that way. Then we have gold, but you can't go to Walmart and purchase things with gold. So if you have gold, typically you have to go through a broker of some sort and you buy it. Well, when you buy it, you automatically lose money with gold because the person who is selling it needs to make a profit. So let's say gold, I'm just using hypothetical numbers. I know this isn't right, but let's say you buy gold and gold's $1,000 per ounce. Well, then you have to buy it for $1,100. Well, you've already lost money on that gold because let's assume you have to turn back around and spend it the next day. You're only going to get $1,000 out of it. So you lost $100. Well, of course, gold prices go up, but that's based on the value of cash. I mean, gold's a good thing to have, but it's hard to spend. Whereas firewood and chickens and chicken eggs, I can actually trade that. Now I can't go to Walmart, but I can go to my neighbor and say, hey, I need, I don't know, some welding done. Would you take some firewood? And if he's got a wood stove, of course, they'll probably trade with me. But say, hey, I got some gold, they may not do it. I've actually seen a video where a guy was trying to give away an actual gold coin. And he would go up to people and say, hey, got this gold coin, can I have your soda? Guy would be like, no. Or he'd do another one where he'd go up to a guy and say, I got a Snickers bar here and a gold coin, which one do you want? You can have either one. They'd take the Snickers bar. So people don't even know the value of gold is the point. I try to invest in things that have value to me. Gold doesn't really have value to me. I mean, it's nice to have, it's pretty, but it has no value. But food, canned food, has value. Now, I'm not a stockpiler, but the chickens producing eggs is value. I can eat it. And as a result, I don't have to go to the store and buy food. And so when things go bad, I'm going to be sitting pretty because nobody else is going to have these things. So I'll be able to trade these things pretty easily because people are going to need them, firewood and food. I don't know what I would need to trade because I typically don't need things. I'm pretty well self-sustaining as it is. But if I needed something, straw maybe, I don't know. I don't know how easy it's going to come by to get straw because gasoline, but regardless. But our president recently signed an executive order, and I don't know, it's like 14048 or something, whatever it is, but in this executive order it says that he wants to transition to digital currency, getting rid of cash. Now, digital currency, I know a lot of people do Bitcoin and different things, but this is different. This would be controlled by the government. So it would be a Federal Reserve zeros and ones. It's all in computer program. Now, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to charge you every time you make a purchase. And it's going to start out, I think, at a penny per purchase. But like with any tax, and that's what it would be, it's a tax. Of course, they're going to call it a service fee, but it's a tax. So with any tax, they're going to raise the tax when they need more revenue. Then also on each deposit that you make, they're going to charge $25. You currently have an ATM card, and you can kind of think of ATMs as a digital currency. I mean, there's no cash involved. Of course, you can go to the ATM machine and get cash, and then you can pay little Johnny to come over and cut your grass, and it's all under the table, and you know, he makes a few bucks. But that won't happen anymore. Every purchase will be visible to the government. So if they want to restrict what you buy, they can restrict it. For example, if they think, well, you know what, this administration doesn't like it that you buy gas, for example. And they say, okay, you can only have 20 gallons of gas this month. Well, if you decide that you want to buy your kids some gas, nope, can't do it. So they're going to shut you off on gas. Or if they want you to buy an electric car and you decide you want to go out and buy a gasoline car, nope, they shut you off. So they'll be able to control what you're spending. They'll also be able to monitor all your expenses, how much food you're buying, how much heat you're using, which is why I really enjoy living off grid, because they don't monitor any of that for me. I have firewood. Now, of course, we talked about the EPA trying to regulate wood stoves out of existence, but that's a whole different video. As a matter of fact, I'll link that video in the up next box at the end of this video. This can go a little bit further if you really think about it. Let's say you want to donate to a political campaign and they don't like that political campaign. The administration in office says, no, you cannot give money to the opposing candidate. So they just say no, they won't approve the purchase, or they'll block the purchase, or whatever it is. If you want to donate to an organization, I worked for a nonprofit, and it was a really good nonprofit. It was a sheltered workshop. And we helped disabled employees learn the skills so they can go out and work in a real job without all that instruction, manufacturing primarily for us. Well, in 2010, the administration, for whatever reason, just decided they didn't like sheltered workshops. So they did everything they could to shut us down. Department of Labor inspections, and we had OSHA inspections, just inspection after inspection. And they would always find something and give out fines. Now that money was supposed to go to the employees, the developmentally disabled employees, but the government was getting all these fines. It really put a strain on a lot of the workshops. Now just imagine if the donations we received were restricted. Somebody donate to the workshop and they say, oh no, we don't like that organization, we're going to shut it down. Or, you know, your favorite firearm organization, nonprofit. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. What if they say, oh no, you can't donate to them anymore? I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, this is conspiracy theory, can't happen, won't happen. They're going to put all kinds of checks and balances in it. That's fine until the administration that you don't want in office, and then you're going to be screaming up a blue streak, oh no, look what he's doing with my money. Just to prove the case, PayPal is basically digital currency. I can give money to anybody who has a PayPal account anywhere in the world. It's real simple. It's just not hard to use. It's incredible. If I got their email address, boy, boom, off it goes. You know, Carolyn's son needed a little help the other day. Got behind on something. I was able to give him 20 bucks, just no problem. And then he was able to pay me back. There was no checks that we had to write. Didn't have to go to, what was that old thing that you used to have to go to? Western Union, that's what it was. You didn't have to go over there. It would just come from my home. I was sitting there watching TV, well, Netflix on my phone, laying on the bed, and Carolyn said, hey, can he have 20 bucks? I jumped up on the computer, gave him 20 bucks, lay back down, watch TV again. So it's nice to have, but it is digital. Just transfer numbers over the internet. Just the other day, PayPal got upset at an organization. So just on a whim, they changed their user agreement. And they said that they were going to fine any user, meaning they were going to take money from any user that spoke in a way they didn't like. Now, I don't have the exact verbiage on me. I'm paraphrasing. And they were going to fine you $2,500 for the offense. Well, I mean, as soon as it was released in the media, I mean, they immediately said, oh no, this was a mistake, it was an error. Oh, wait a minute. You typed something up, it went through the organization for approval, everybody signed off on it, then it went into your user policy web page, it was sent out to all the users, and this was a mistake? How do you mistakenly write a policy that went through all these checks and balances? It can't be a mistake. They got caught. So we know this can happen. We've seen it happen. Nobody got fined, but people lost money. So GoFundMe did something very similar not that long ago. The truckers over in Canada, you know, they were getting donations from people. They set up a GoFundMe account. Millions of dollars started pouring in, and GoFundMe just shut it down. And it's my understanding at first they weren't going to reimburse the money. They were just going to give it to a organization that they liked, whatever it is they wanted to do. Now I don't know how that all turned out. I never got a follow-up on that, but truckers never got the money. There was a kid in Wisconsin. I can't say his name because when I do, they always restrict my videos from going out to a big audience. But he was arrested and was going to trial. He won his case. I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about. A young kid, 17, 18 years old, self-defense case. He won. Well, he started a GoFundMe to get lawyer fees and all that, and they shut him down too. The thing is the guy in Minnesota that all that started, you know, all these riots started from, I'm not going to say his name either, and the police officer was found guilty of choking him. They did fund his GoFundMe, his family's GoFundMe, so they can decide who's going to be funded and who's not. So that wouldn't be that far of a stretch of imagination to think PayPal would do something like that. My guess is they're going to try to word it a little better so it's not so obvious that they're going to decide who's going to be able to say what and do what. And the thing is they said it was going to be at their discretion, whatever they considered bad speech. They were going to fine you. So you could just wake up one day and say, huh, I'm missing 2,500 bucks. So now let's apply this to the government and their digital currency. Let's say they decide they don't want you saying things or doing things, and they just decide that, no, we're going to fine you for every violation. I don't know if that can happen because there might be lawsuits involved. I mean, they're stealing your property, your money being property. Now, the thing is I just learned yesterday that the FBI can seize your cash, and it doesn't fall under the Fourth Amendment because they say cash is just a piece of paper that they're investigating. They're not investigating me, they're investigating the paper. So they can hold on to that, and you have to sue the FBI to get your cash back. So if they can say that about cash and it doesn't apply to the Fourth Amendment, just imagine what they can say about ones and zeros on the internet. They tell you, oh, you got $2,500 in the bank, and then the next day you decide, well, I want to donate that money, and they just take $2,500 away from you. So if you can click that up next box, take you that wood stove video I was telling you about. I hope I can inspire you to be cautious in this digital technology so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.